G'day guys, Josh Huggett here from Joshua Huggett Media, and welcome to Tog Talk, a show where we talk about stuff. And the stuff that we are talking about today is Daria. I should have qualified that it is Daria, isn't it? I'm fucking reading it right.
Yeah, Daria.
We've got Daria from Rosemary Studios in Melbourne on today, which is a fun little chat. Just a couple of Aussies shooting some shit and talking on the internet. And the best bit about today's episode is that I've actually never spoken to Daria before until about a minute ago. Admirer from afar, admirer of Instagram stories and all that, which we'll get into. But Daria, can you tell the hundreds of people at home or in their car, maybe they're listening to it in their car, can you tell the hundreds of people wherever they are in the world who you are and what you do and why we're here?
Well, I'm Daria. I'm from Rosemary Studios, a photography business that I built for probably 10 years ago now, although I feel like I've been saying 10 years for the last, I don't know, I lost count. I'm based down in Melbourne, and I've been in Melbourne for the last 5 or 6 years, I think. And photography's just been my whole life ever since I left school, and I don't think I will ever do anything else. You could never catch me in a 9-to-5 job in my life.
It really skews your perception of what actually working is when you become a photographer, because you go from and I had a normal job for a long time, and then someone's like, hey man, I'll give you your entire week's wage if you just come and do that thing that you enjoy to do for like an hour. Just come and take some pictures for an hour and you can make as much money as you earn like working an entire fucking stocking shelves. I don't think many photographers could go back to a normal job because you would never be able to replicate like the freedom that really comes with it.
100%. I probably about a year ago had it was kind of a quiet time in my photography, and I thought, oh fuck, let me see if I can get a little part-time job. As long as it was something creative. I'd never want to go into something that's completely different to what I love. So I worked at a social media agency, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll be taking little videos and stuff for companies. It was a full-time job, and they said you're working in the office 1 day a week. So I was like, how full-time is it? Like, if I'm at home, how full-time is it? It really was. It really was. 8 hours a day on my laptop, drilling it in, and it started going into the back of my mind of like, how am I going to go grocery shopping? I'm not going to be able to see the girls. I'm not going to be able to go for a morning walk. How am I going to go to the gym? And I quit 4 days later.
Yeah,
I quit 4 days later. I was like, yep, that's all I needed to see. Goodbye.
I think it's the difference between, because we could sit here, and I'm sure you're the same, where you'll sit down for 10 hours in a day and just like edit and do emails and do other stuff. But I think it's the feeling of knowing that you could do something out. Like, I could go to the bin right now and just go for a walk.
Yeah.
Or I could take my dog for a walk. Even though you probably won't, you'll sit there and you'll edit your little life away. But there is always that option of I could leave right now.
Yeah, you've got the freedom to get up and go and not have to answer to anyone. I remember asking one of the girls that once a week I go to therapy, and I was like, how am I going to fit that in? What's the process there? And she said, oh, you'll have to talk to the boss about getting the time off. And I just thought, oh, that's too fucking hard. Like, if I need to go somewhere on Wednesday at 11:30, I don't want to have to ask someone for time off and then have to have sick leave. I was just like, oh, no, not for me. Not for me.
And that's like the quintessential pros versus cons of starting your own business, is that you do work 24 hours a day, essentially. Like, you're always kind of on or thinking about something. But you can also take time off whenever you kind of want. And that's why I've always really, really lent into it, in that, my daughter, if it was sunny outside and it was a nice day, I'd just be like, fuck this, and I'd shut the doors and go away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But then it does kind of come back in that I remember when I had a job and then you would take your annual leave and you got your like 2 weeks annual leave, your 4 weeks annual leave, you could just like turn your phone off and not actually give a fuck
Yeah.
and actually have a break. So there's,
Yeah.
and that I do kind of miss that, because even when we're on holidays now, it's like, oh, am I actually on a holiday, or am I just making work harder for myself by doing it in a different
Yeah.
position?
They are the struggles. I just got back from a Euro summer holiday. I took
I
3
think
weeks
most of
off.
Australia was in fucking Europe this summer. Everybody on
Yeah.
Instagram has been in Europe this summer.
Well, it was my first time in Europe. I've been an avid looker at everyone else over the years, but it was my turn to put the bathing suit and go over there. And I was there for 3 weeks, and honestly, it's it's a stressful time to have to walk away from the business to try and set everything up so it's still running while you're away, so you don't have to be on emails and replying to people and people being like, "What's your prices?" Even though they're on my fucking website everywhere. I've got buttons everywhere. To come home and have to kind of stress out about, like, oh no, like I didn't make that much money in the 3 weeks that I was gone, and now I have to get online and do all my marketing for the August period. They're the sacrifices you take when you run your own business.
So, two-part question. One,
Yeah.
what did you implement to help while you were abroad? And second question is that this is the second one will be a long one. Do the first one first. What did you do to actually set up to
To
go on
help
holidays?
myself.
Yeah.
So honestly, probably not a massive amount, but I just made sure on my website under all of my price lists, I had a book now button, and it comes up with like the calendar. They can pick their date, they can pick their times, they can pick their package, and it takes their card. It just pays online. Um, I use a Pixie set for all of that stuff. So it what does it do? It sends me a reminder in my calendar. It books me in there, sends them an email, and it because I usually just get what is it, like a deposit with them payments, but
Yeah.
Pixieset automatically sends them a invoice for the deposit and the full amount. So it kind of just cut out all of the me having to go online and write up the invoice and send it over and all of that stuff. Because and I've wanted to implement that actually in my business for a fair while, because it is annoying having to just chat so much with people just to get the deposit. So people are always in my email saying, we're getting married here on this date at this time. What are your prices? And it just makes me rip my hair out, because I've worked so hard on my website to have it everywhere that these are my price lists. Like, I'm not hidden. None of my prices are hidden, but they just mustn't look. So I tried to
How far
advertise.
up your website is your contact form?
Um, I
I'll
think it's
fucking
on
bring it
the,
up.
it's, yeah, bring it up.
It's
Roast
really
me.
no, I can, because the first thing we do is tell people to take their pricing off their website.
Oh,
Um. Anyway, no. Second question was, you do a lot of engagements, the people actually getting engaged.
yes.
Are
That's
you
something
so?
that
Would you
started
consider yourself
happening.
like an engagement photographer or a wedding photographer or both? And are they transferring? Like, you do their engagement
Yeah.
photos, do they then come back around and like hire for weddings? Because that's a pretty fucking sick little market if it is.
I know. It's something that I fell into probably 8 months ago. And on the topic of like, am I a wedding photographer or am I a proposal photographer? I kind of don't really have a niche. I remember when I was younger, everyone was saying, "Oh, you need a niche down, you need a niche down." And it just made me feel so claustrophobic that I couldn't just capture everything that I loved. Um, so I'm just, you contact me and you want me to shoot your commercial business or your proposal or your wedding, I'll do it all. But it's a good, like, these proposals are actually really good to have during the winter months, because people aren't really getting married during winter.
Hmm.
And I started working with a proposal company, and she put on her story if there was any Melbourne photographers that she could have on her team. And I immediately put my hand up. I was like, pick me. I'm so good. Like, I promise you won't ever regret it. And she's given me so much work. And then because I'm advertising that and I'm making videos and posting, I'm now able to get my own clients and people are coming to me directly. And I have so far, I've converted about 5 proposals to weddings. Um, like for the people that are wanting to get married short notice, like a
Yeah.
year. But I'm hoping that as the other ones, go over the year, because people get married 2 or 3 years down the track.
Mm.
I'm hoping that they're
That's not bad
implemented.
for 8 months to convert 5-ish weddings when you like there's not many, and I say this a lot about photography, but there's not many industries in the world where you can get paid to market your services for down the line. Like you get paid to do the engagement
Yeah.
photos
Yeah.
and then
And
it
you just
leads
hope
to
to
more work.
Christ. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
that doesn't happen
Otherwise,
in any other industry.
no. Otherwise, like with weddings and stuff, if you shoot their wedding and they love you and things, say, well, for me anyway, like say if they have a baby down the track, they might contact me and be like, "Hey, can you do a maternity shoot or a newborn shoot?" And I have had that. There was one lady. This is like probably 9 years ago. I photographed her first maternity session, and then their first child, and then their second child, and then I shot their wedding, and then after their wedding, like a year later, I shot their, I think, third child and stuff. So I was just part of the family at that point. But yeah, I think honestly, shooting these proposals is a really good door to open to have the weddings. Yeah.
It's something that I've never ever done. I've never done
No.
a proposal. I feel like that would be
Yeah.
more stressful than an actual wedding.
It is. It really is, trust me. It's so stressful. When it comes to public settings and things that are kind of out of your control, they're the stressful times. A lot of the ones that I shoot, they're on like a rooftop that's already been booked, so it's just the clients, and I just like hide behind a wall, and then they come in. But I shot a hot air balloon proposal the other day, and that was so stressful. It was so stressful. I
Are
thought I was
you
going to have a
on the
heart
hot air
attack.
balloon?
No, so the idea was the balloon inflates and it has "Will you marry me" on the
Oh,
balloon,
fuck that. That's
and
too
yeah,
hard.
I know. I know. And I just have to like stand behind them and capture that. But I struggle with actually is my expectation and the vision that I want to be able to create for the client, and then the actual realisticness of it and how it ends up folding, like playing out. Because in my head, what should have happened was, so they drove everyone to this paddock, and me and Liam, a videographer I work with, we sat in the car, and they said to us that the couple were going to sit in the car until they fully unraveled the hot air balloon, and they kind of bring them out at the last minute once it's just starting to come up. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. She won't see us there. It'll be so like surprise. But no, they got us out of the car early. They got them out of the car before they even unraveled the balloon. So they were kind of just standing next to the balloon, and me and Liam were standing there being like, fuck, do we pretend that we're taking pictures of the other balloons? So the surprise of it was kind of not what I had imagined,
Mm.
but I had to very quickly just snap into like, this has got nothing to do with our experience of what we want to create. As long as they're having a good time, as long as she's happy, it really fucking doesn't matter what we feel. But
That's what if you're on the wrong side of the balloon and it blows up and they don't fucking see it? That's the first thing that came in my head. Like the balloon comes up and you're in the wrong spot and you can't
now
see
the workers the workers walked them around the right side of the balloon. They kind of really put them in place, and they were like, yep, just stand there and wait for it to come up. And I was like, oh fuck, this is not.
How long did it take to inflate from flat to full?
Honestly, probably like 6 to 10 minutes.
That's fucking so long to stand outside.
I know. Especially with me and the videographer just standing there. I was like, yeah, she definitely knows she's getting proposed to. But the video turned out beautiful. The photos turned out beautiful. They loved the experience. But yeah, there's definitely some stressful times that you can't really control, and you can't kind of step in and change it. You just have to let it play out and just document it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit much for me. I couldn't do it because it's just like it's so weddings are. Everyone's like,
Predictable.
I could never shoot a wedding because you only get one shot to get everything. A proposal,
Yeah. It's
at least
even
they know
worse.
they're getting married. They
Yeah.
know that it's happening, so you can
Yeah.
still walk them through. And yes, it only happens one time, but you can kind of like guide that process at least. Like this is how
Yeah,
the
with
day is
both
going to
of
go.
them.
With a proposal, typically one of the people doesn't know that something's happening. So you've only
Yeah.
got 16 seconds to get that like actual genuine reaction, and then anything
Yeah.
other than that is just faking it. Have you
Yeah.
ever gotten close to missing it?
Oh, definitely not. No.
Oh,
I've never
no, I'm
missed it.
fucking best
There was
photographer.
I am.
No.
Nah, there was I shot one probably 2 days ago, and it was, I'm gonna say, probably a fail in my eyes. It stressed me out and I was like, fuck, this is so messy. But it was quite windy and he wanted it on a cliffside, and he had one of those, like, it was like a circle kind of, I don't know how to explain it. It
Like
was
an
like an
arbor?
arbor. Yeah, like a
Yeah.
circle arbor. It had flowers on it. And I could see his location because I had it shared on my phone. And he was walking down the pathway and the fucking arbor fell over. And I texted him and I was like, wait, stop. And I yelled out to the people that had set it up, and I was like, come and fix it, set it up. So they're like mid setting it up, and he walked around the corner, and I was like, fuck. So they kind of like, they just ran out of the shot and they did the proposal. In my head, I was freaking out. I was like, oh my God, it's ruined. It's not perfect. But he didn't care. She didn't care. We went and did some photos down on the beach and they loved it. So yeah. So there are some fails, not on my end.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't, there's so many things that you can't predict with them, like the public and the weather and things like that. You can't really, especially if they've organized flowers and stuff, you can't really reschedule
Nah.
because it's all set
Especially
up.
does that happen often where like they get rescheduled because of the weather, or do you just move it somewhere else?
You
I
just
mean,
move
you're
it
only
somewhere
8 months in,
else.
but like you've done
You
fucking
move,
heaps in that 8 months. So
yeah, I think I've done at least 60 or more, maybe. But yeah, if you've got notice, you'll move it to an indoor location. But when they're literally walking around the corner and it blows over, you can't really fix it. You can't really
we
run
had
inside.
one recently. It was the last wedding of the season for me, and just as the ceremony is about to start, we pulled up. We're down in the ceremony space. The groom is like freaking out. He's having a little moment with his boys. And then I'm watching the flowers, that that
Oh,
moss stuff that they stick him in, the fucking
oh yeah, the
soft shit.
green, the
Yeah, the
green
green cube
box
things.
thing. Yeah.
I've just watched this big thing of flowers that they were getting married in front of just start like
Oh,
tipping forward like this. And so I
yeah.
fucking grabbed it as quickly as I
Yeah.
could and got on the ground and I'm holding it up. And I went to Jake, the videographer. I was like, get the fucking printer out of my camera bag. Go to my camera bag and get the printer. And I've got like a
You like
box
hold
that's
it
like
down.
this big. Yeah. And I literally like
Yeah.
propped up the flowers and stuck my print. This is 3 minutes before she walks down the aisle. And I'm
Oh.
shoving my printer underneath the flowers to hold it up so it doesn't fall down. And then you hear the fucking like music changing and the celebrant starting. So me and celebrant and Jake are like ripping leaves off and trying to cover my printer box in leaves so that you can't see it in the photos. And it sat there
Oh,
for the
that's so
entire
stressful.
reception, the whole wedding, because I didn't move the flowers because it was a wet, fucking hell, Josh, a wet wedding. So everything got moved inside. So the flowers didn't move. The florists never came back. And my printer held up the flowers for 12 hours. And then when I left, like, I had to get my printer back. So I've taken my printer out and the flowers have just like fallen onto the dance floor. And I
You're
was
like, fuck it, I've clocked off for the night. That's a you
I
problem.
stopped getting paid an hour ago. I'm just going to take my printer and go home.
Yeah.
But that's like, and that all comes with experience, doesn't it? Like the more you do this sort of stuff, you kind of learn to, and lots of people stress about it. They're like, oh, what happens if something goes wrong? I feel like the good photographers, the more that you're doing this sort of stuff, it's easier to problem solve on the job. Like
Yeah.
you can fix it
100%.
pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Like an arbor falling down or leaning into it. But at the end of
Or
the
the
day, it
dress not
doesn't.
zipping up.
Yeah, dress not zipping up and like actually stitching it onto brides and stuff. We've had that happen heaps of times where we've had to like the zip's like halfway up and then it like breaks or something. So you end up
Yeah.
getting like the oh shit kit out and stitching up the bride so that she's like sewn into the dress.
Yeah.
But like they would have loved their proposal, even though they saw people setting it up.
Yeah.
I talk so much about client experience, and that's what I teach at workshops and all this sort of stuff. They're still, so long as they have a good experience, and they're going to look back at photos and all that sort of stuff with like a positive mindset because they're like, oh yeah, remember that, and it will turn into like a funny story in like 15 minutes, 20 minutes
Yeah,
after.
exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
I remember when the arbor fell down during our proposal, but like here we are, we're still married 25 years later. Like,
Yeah, and I think for me, it's about the approach that you have when things go wrong. Like, if it had fallen over and I didn't say anything about it, or, once they walked around the corner and they were fixing it, if I had have held on to the fact that it kind of got fucked up and had a negative approach to it, and then it would have changed their outlook on it. But because I kind of was just like, oh, that's so funny, like how silly. Look, we'll set it back up for you. We'll see if we can like recreate the proposal. And then I've really turned it around by taking them down to the beach with the sunset, and they just ran around on the beach and they had so much fun. And then after I said to them, I was like, how are we feeling? I was like, I'm so sorry that you had to walk around the corner to it being fixed. They were like, who cares? They were like, it's so fine. And I thought, oh, that makes me so happy.
I feel
Yeah.
like this could only happen in Australia. I talk a
What do
lot
you
about
mean?
just how uptight America is, and just
Oh,
how in
oh yeah.
Australia you see the arbor come down, you're like, fuck, that sucks, doesn't it? But anyway, let's just keep going on. Whereas I feel like that'd be a lawsuit over there.
Or you'd get home and one of the bride, like the girl that got proposed to, would have uploaded a TikTok to be like,
Oh yeah,
"Oh my god, like the arbor fell down and it was such a shit experience. Never
a
work with this company ever
17-part
again."
series because they get paid for it too.
Yeah.
Fucking wild. Can you just before I get too into hating America, where does Rosemary Studios come from? Apart from opposed to like Daria shoots shit or whatever.
Oh, wow. Such a long time ago. It's such a long story. So my first Instagram name was Girl with the Rosemary Tattoo. This is
Oh yeah,
literally like,
nice. That's
yeah,
nice.
it was my first ever tattoo. And the reason why I got a rosemary, because so many people are like, why the fuck do you have a herb on your, like, why do you have a herb tattoo? Rosemary apparently is actually the symbol of friendship, and all of my tattoos I got for my nana. She raised me my whole life, and she loves to garden. And I've got a plan of, so it's kind of morbid, but say she passes away when I'm like 31 or something, I'll have 31 flowers, but the 31st flower will be in color. Um, so yeah, bit of a long story. But the way I transitioned to Rosemary Studios was I opened a studio and I was like, what do I name myself? I still, like, so many people know me as Girl with a Rosemary Tattoo. Um, so yeah, Rosemary Studios. And I've never changed it, even though I don't have a studio.
I had money on grandma being called Rosemary. That's where my money was.
Right,
I
yeah.
wasn't fucking far off. That was
Yeah, you
pretty
weren't far.
close.
There's a long-winded story for mine.
So your studio, was that just like headshots and stuff and like creative stuff, or was it like an actual studio where people came and worked underneath you and went out and shot stuff?
It was just a little shop front in Tassie. So I was living in Tassie when I first opened it. And it was just like this little tiny shop front, and it was just me shooting in there. I opened that in 2017, and because before that I was doing so many baby photos, I was doing maternities, and I was really struggling with the weather. I couldn't predict the lighting. I couldn't, like, having newborn babies outside or taking them into these like places. It was really stressing me out. So I was like, I need something. Um, And the thing that actually blows my mind, and the way that you can tell inflation is just so fucked, is that rent cost me $200 a week.
That's also Tassie, though. There's like fucking
I
6
know,
shops in Tassie and 5 people. So supply and demand, really.
but
But yeah,
the
$200
size of
is,
it, the size of it probably would have been the same size as your studio that you're sitting in.
yeah, mine's like $500 a week, and mine's very, very cheap. I've got
Yeah,
very, very cheap rent here.
yeah,
But I'm going to
but
get rid
it's
of it. I'm going to move
yeah,
home.
yeah. I heard about that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
came here. So my original use for the studio was because my daughter was at home all the time, and it was just like loud, and I just had a small bedroom. And the way I justified it to myself was, can I make, so it was cost me like 35 grand a year with expenses.
yeah,
Can I make an extra $30,000 a year by not being at home? Like, could I go to a studio where there's no distractions, there's nothing here,
yeah,
and could I physically make $31,000 a year more? Because then
yeah.
I'm still $1,000 better off than I was being at home.
Yeah, like you
And that's what
convinced
we,
yourself you'd work harder if you were
yeah,
outside of the house.
yeah. And that's what happened.
Yeah,
Like, I came here, we got fucking heaps of stuff set up, and I can, nobody interrupts me, nobody comes and knocks on my door or anything like that.
yeah,
And then that's how we built out like a proper studio. So we had like 36 photographers in Adelaide, and we were fucking around all around and taking wedding photos. But we don't
yeah.
do that anymore. So it's really just me. And I come in here and I literally, like I put it on my story yesterday, I literally just face the
Just use a
corner of
corner.
this room. Yeah.
Yeah,
The rest of it is just a prop. It's merely
yeah,
a prop for the background of my photos. And I feel like I could just have a wall that looks pretty. So we're kind of doing that at the moment, but not entirely sure where we're going to go. You did kind of touch on it, but what did like early days of Daria and Rosemary Studios sort of look like? Like, you started in Tassie at what, fucking 16? If you've been doing it for 10 years and you're 26 now?
27 now. So I did photography through school. And you could say like my origin story is kind of.
Your website
Oh,
lies, Daria. It says here a 26-year-old photographer from Melbourne.
I turned 27 on the 22nd of July. Shut up.
Nah, mate, it's a
I
fucking
haven't
fallacy.
fixed it. I haven't updated it. But my like origin story into photography is kind of iconic to me anyway. I was wagging my maths or my history class in grade 11, and I was hanging out in my friend's photography class. He took it as just like one of those classes that you don't really care about.
That's what I did.
So I would, yeah, so I would go and hang out in his class, and the teacher never kicked me out. I didn't go to either whatever class it was for at least 6 months, like straight. No one questioned it. And I pretty much helped him get his grades up, even though I wasn't really like I was just letting mine fall by the wayside. But she actually said to me, she was like, "You should probably go into photography in grade 12, considering you've literally just wagged your whole fucking school life for this class." Um, so I did photography in grade 12, and funny enough, I actually failed my photography class. Broke my heart. I thought I was going to my career was over. And then I bought a camera off of this random guy that I knew. I'm pretty sure he stole it from his school and sold it to me for $150. And I graduated 2016. And I just worked my ass off. I was taking photos of family members and friends and random people. And then December 2017, I opened my studio. And by that point, I was full time. I was, I can't remember how much I was making, but I had a goal to save 10 grand. And then with that 10 grand, I would like put that into the business and like pay like the year's rent or whatever.
Yep.
And yeah, so I was just doing family photos in there and maternities and the baby stuff like that. And then I closed that. Uh, what was it? It was like August 2019. And I moved to Melbourne. And
Great. Just in time for you
oh,
to not move.
Tell me about it. I actually thought my photography career was over, if I'm honest. Moving to Melbourne was quite a stressful time. I was a little bit cocky in Tassie. There wasn't a lot of photographers over there, especially with a studio. And a lot of people knew me by name, and you could say I was kind of not like I wouldn't say famous, but a lot of people honestly on the street over in Tassie would say like, "Oh, are you the girl with the Rosemary tattoo?" And I'd be like, "What the fuck?" But my photography actually kind of grew when I think every photographer has this time in their life, but I started getting into concert photography.
That's the
Um,
only thing I've never taken photos of.
yeah, there's no money in it, but the
Nah.
experience is worthwhile. Um, in 2017, I was actually attending a Tash Sultana concert, and I loved her at the time. And literally 2 days before it, I thought, fuck it. Let me see if I can contact as many people as possible and get my ass in there with my camera and shoot the concert. And I contacted everyone. And as you can imagine, Tassie's security isn't really high. So this random guy on Facebook was like, "Yeah, I'm one of the security guards." And he let me in. He let me in, and I shot the whole concert. She uploaded a few of the photos and tagged me in it, and then overnight, I just had so many followers and so many people in Tassie knew me by that girl that was the luckiest bitch in the whole entire stadium.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many
Um,
followers did you gain? This would have been back in Instagram when like you gaining followers was good.
it was actually possible.
Yeah.
Um, I think I gained at least 4 to 5 thousand
That's fucking
followers.
wild.
Yeah,
That's
I
so
know.
cool.
It freaked me out. I woke up the next morning and there was everyone in my DMs saying like, "Oh my God, she posted it!" Like, and I checked my Instagram and yeah, and I just skyrocketed. I was getting so busy because so many people knew me. So that's when the studio came about. But I got a little bit cocky and I felt like, I've outgrown Tassie. Let me go to the big smoke. And I thought that I'd get so many more opportunities over here. And I got here, and way before COVID even started, I didn't pick my camera up for like 8 to 9 months. And I remember having a full nervous breakdown, just crying about that my photography was meant to be my life. It was meant to be what I was going to do for the rest of my life. And I had this successful career and I just fucked it all up. So I did give photography up and I got a little job. And then COVID obviously happened and I still worked in that job for about 3 years. And then they all knew me as a photographer and they kept saying, you shouldn't just let this go. Like, don't just let it be a memory. You need to keep doing it. But I was just like, no, like I've tried and no one wants me. And then I met some people in the industry over here in about, what was it? I think it was like 2022 or 23, so not that long ago. And they kind of held my hand. They introduced me to people. They helped me set up my website. They allowed me to come on their shoots and shoot next to them for free just to get my name out there and have a portfolio for Melbourne. Um, and then there's been so many massive pivotal moments in my photography where I was like successful and then it went quiet and then something crazy happened. But if I'm honest, the very big pivotal moment would have been September last year, which is insane. Not that far
So
away.
what happened September last year? Is that just
So
it all kind of came together and you had like a coming to moment and you're like, fuck, this is actually working? Or
um so what had happened, I had a goal of making 5 grand every month. That would pay my bills and allow me to put money in savings. And I started working for this like picnic company and a whole backstory of that we won't get into. But I ended up randomly one night after 4 months of working for them just feeling like I need to get out of this. I don't want to do this anymore. Like my photography is getting busier, and this company has said that if I've got a shoot on, if they have a picnic that's been booked, I can't do my thing. And I was like, well, I'm not going to give up a $5,000 wedding to get paid fucking $30 an hour for your fucking picnic. So I left. I quit, and I think that was on the 6th of September, and I said to myself, like, you know, you need to go hard on social media. And I think this is probably when I saw you pop up on my Instagram. So I uploaded every single day on TikTok and Instagram, 3 to probably 6 times a day on both platforms. And I remember, like, on the 6th or 7th of September, I looked at how much I was making, and it was about 6 grand. And I thought, oh, we're safe. Like, we're okay. If it kind of dwindles off, then we'll get a fucking cafe job or something. And by the end of September, I made 17 grand, and it was my biggest ever, like, money month in my whole entire career. And then from September onwards, I have made over 10 grand every single month, and it's never gone under that. And there's just been so many things that have just blown up that I've, like, convinced myself. I don't know if you've ever heard of the word quantum leaping.
I have.
Have you heard of it?
Yeah, you explain it and then I'll Google it.
So for me, anyway, quantum leaping is when something very pivotal in your life happens and everything that you've ever wanted just completely flips on its head, from being a struggle to coming to you so much easier.
Yeah.
So one of the things that also happened in September, I remember the for the year, I had a goal of booking 20 weddings. I've never gotten to that goal yet. And I think around July, I had maybe 15, and I was working really hard. And every time I'd book one, I'd get so excited about it. And then in that September month, when I was posting every fucking day, I had a few videos go viral. And by the end of December, I had 60 weddings. I remember the end of September, I flew past 20, and I had like 35 or something. So these were the things that were happening. Like, I made over 10K, like way over 10K. I flew past the wedding goal that I had, and I also wanted to do interstate travels for weddings. And again, one of the videos went viral, and I just had all of these DMs coming in from people. And I was going to do I'll fly to no, I'll shoot your wedding for free if you pay for my travel. And people didn't want that. They were like, no, like, we'll just pay you. We love your work. You don't need to shoot it for free. We feel bad about it. So these were the things that were happening that I thought it was going to be hard. And it did feel so hard prior, and everything just, it was just blowing up. And I think it was the fact that every time I had a slow period, I would get a job. I'd get a little side hustle. I'd do something, but it always felt like I kept putting my photography on the back burner because I didn't feel safe in it. I didn't feel like I was ever going to be successful in it. And then, just that day that I was like, nah, I actually fully need to go in. I need to really focus on this because I'm not putting 100% in. I'm putting like 50% in and then complaining about it. It all just blew up in my face in a good way.
I had a very similar moment when I was quitting my job. But quantum leaping is a non-scientific context, refers to the idea of making a sudden, significant, and often transformative change in one's life, akin to shifting into a different reality or version of oneself. This concept, while drawing inspiration from quantum physics, primarily used metaphorically to describe personal growth and transformation.
Yeah.
That's quantum leaping. But when I was in my rebuilding phase, because I had a business pre-COVID, and then COVID happened, and I just kind of, like, I was out of pocket.
We all just put it on the back burner.
I was fucked. I was out of pocket like 20 grand in one day. My bank accounts went into negatives. We stopped getting paid in the car yard. I actually just had a real go out today about it. But and that's all in, I've got a whole fucking episode on me, so I don't need to talk about it too much. But I had that sort of like, aha moment as well. And it was like my goal was always, and I'm big on goal setting as well. Like I think we should always be having goals for like everything, even like having big goals that you're always kind of striving to. So mine was always 100 weddings in a year. Like I wanted to shoot
Yeah.
100 weddings in 1 year.
Yeah.
And I was fucking
Like really
grinding and
pushing it. Yeah.
grinding and grinding. And then like 1 year I got to like 65 and I was like, fuck, we're like close. Like if we can do
Yeah.
65, we can do 100. And then the next year we got to 80, I think it was. And I was like, we're still getting close. Like we're getting there. We are almost fucking there. And then the next year we shot 97 and I was like, fuck, this is the fucking, I remember those last few days.
I would have been crashing out.
I was trying so fucking hard. I was like, we got to get, like, is anything happening? And we got to 97. And then the next year we did 125 and you just kind of like, you kind of blow past. But when I was quitting my job, and I remember having the exact same conversation that you had with yourself, but I had it with my wife. And I was like, I know that we can do this. Like, I've got proof of concept. Like, I'm giving, because I was working a full-time job. I was leave the house at 7 a.m. to be to the car yard by like 8. And I would work selling cars from 8 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock at night. I would come home. I'd spend a little bit of time with my daughter because she was a baby. And then I would spend a little bit of time with my wife. And then they would go to bed and I would just sit up and work on the business until like 1 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, I know I can do this. And I had to work harder because I couldn't just go and like take a chance on myself and like and just quit because I had fucking a mortgage and a car loan and a baby.
You've
and
got responsibilities.
Fucking real adult stuff. So I couldn't just quit. But I remember like working and I got to that tipping point where they were like the car yard was like, you can't take any more Saturdays off because Saturdays is selling days. And then I was like, but it was like $4,000 for a wedding.
Yeah, if you're like
$300.
Yeah, it's like you're getting in the way of my career, and you're like, what one? Do I work for someone else and get paid fuck all, or do I really just hammer down on what I want? And it's very quick.
I like that you went and got jobs. I know that towards the end it became a like a bit of a hassle, and that's when you had that sort of tipping point. But I feel like so many people are scared to go backwards, and that sometimes you need to take 2 steps forward to take 6 steps. You need to take 2 steps back to take 6 steps forward. You take it half a step back, and you get yourself a job, fucking slinging coffee or whatever.
Yeah,
that can give you the money
to survive on at least.
A bit safer as well. You can sort of take those other chances and maybe do other stuff. So many people were like, I'm going all in, I'm quitting my job, I'm becoming a photographer. And then if it doesn't work out immediately, they just kind of like pack it in and they're like, oh, it didn't work for me. Like, oh, geez, I would have loved to have been a photographer. Whereas maybe they could have just got a fucking part-time job, made a little bit of extra money. Because when I quit my full-time job, I was terrified because I'd never been completely self-employed before.
Yeah.
So I went and got another job in the nursing home, and I was working 2 days a week. I would drive an hour.
In a nursing home?
I did 11 years of aged care.
What were you doing in the nursing home?
So I did 9 years of memory support care. So that was a carer, like showering, clothing, feeding, fucking everything. And then I did 4 years of that, and then I did 5 years of fucking lifestyle. So I was in charge of all the games and like playing games with people and running bingo games and going on excursions. And I was just like the tattooed grandson that would kind of like tag along because I was like 19, 20, 21. And I was just out fucking playing bingo and saying jokes that I probably shouldn't be saying in a nursing home. And management used to get really angry at me because like I'd break that barrier of like what you can and can't say to old people. Professionalism, which is hard to believe because I'm so professional now. I'd break that like professional barrier But all the residents in the families fucking loved me for it because I was just myself and I treated everybody like real people instead of fucking porcelain dolls. But I went back into nursing homes and I went and did 2 days a week or something, and I was like in charge of the bowls and stuff. And it made me, I think it was like $200 a week, $250 a week after tax. And I was like, at least it's something, at least it's something.
Yeah.
And then I remember having this one day I was sitting in the car park on my lunch break. And I was like, I don't want to fucking be here. This is a waste of my time. I could be doing something else. All I was doing is like hiding around the corner from where the security cameras were and working on my phone anyway. I was like, I don't need to fucking be here. And then I remember booking a wedding while I was working. I was there and I booked a last minute $1,200 wedding. And I was like, that's 10 weeks worth of this fucking job that I just booked in one day.
Yeah.
And I quit the next day and I never went back.
It's a very quick thing, especially when your brain just automatically goes, I cannot be here. I need to leave. It's quite funny. When COVID when COVID was happening, I got a job at a warehouse just packing orders.
How many fucking jobs have you had, Daria?
I've had little ones. I haven't ever had like a full-time, long-term job because my photography has been such a big part. But I think the COVID time was when I put the camera away and I just worked. But I got fired from that job in, I think, 2022. And that was, again, I was like, okay, I've got savings. I can survive. If I give myself 5 months to be full-time, then I'm fine. And then if not, again, I was going to get a fucking part-time job to pay the rent. And then I was making bits and pieces. I was making enough to live on. It wasn't great. It was quiet. But my partner, he actually said to me, because I would cry to him on the phone all the time, being like, oh, I'm not making enough. Like, I'm failing at it. And he said, are you putting 100% effort in? And I'd say, yes, I'm doing everything I can. And he was like, you're actually fucking not. Like, when was the last time you updated your website? You don't have to charge people for photo shoots. Go and do some fucking free photo shoots because otherwise you're just sitting at home crying about it. You're not losing anything if you offer your services for free. At least you're busy. Your hands are busy. You're creative. So I listened to him. And this is another thing that's happened with I wouldn't say quantum leaping, but I'm a very big a manifester. I believe in the mother nature and energy. What you put out, you get back. I remember posting it was this Facebook group of the suburb that I was in, and I offered my services for free, and I had at least maybe 5 or 6 people say oh yeah, we'd like a photo shoot. And then weirdly enough, in the same month, I'd booked 12 photo shoots from people that had no idea about that page. And prior to this, I hadn't booked anyone for probably a month. That's why I was freaking out. So the fact that I gave my services for free on a Facebook page, and then I had all of these emails and DMs on Instagram, and I'd say, have you come from the Facebook page? And they'd say, no. I was like, how the fuck have I just freaked out in life, given my services for free to be busy and creative, and then instantly gotten work? So it really he drilled it in, I drilled it in, that you really have to put 100% in. You can't just put 40% and then complain that you're putting effort in and nothing's happening. I've always lived by the motto of good things do not come to those who wait. They come to those that fucking dig their feet in and don't take no for an answer and put the work in. Yeah, it's a big spiel.
Now you know how I feel, because normally I'll just go off on a tangent and I'll just once I get going, it's very, very hard to break. So I just let people go, because if you've got it, you go, girl, you get it.
Yeah.
Did you update your website when he told you to? And what did you
I
do?
did.
Did you figure out what brought in all of those leads apart from putting energy into the world? What was the actual cause of it?
I think I just uploaded a few more videos to Instagram and uploaded and was just on TikTok a little bit more. But really, they did just come in very randomly. It was quite a surreal experience, if I'm honest. Like, it all happened within probably 4 or 5 days. I remember booking at least 3 photo shoots in the one day, and I was like, what the fuck is happening? How have I gone from being so quiet to everyone wanting me all of a sudden?
Hmm.
Like, has my partner fucking put a random thing in the newspaper? Like,
Yeah, he's actually got a billboard up called Daria. Book Daria and I'll pay you back.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so how do you find having to constantly book work? Because yes, you're doing lots of weddings now, so it's easier.
yeah,
But the thing that's always stressed me out about family photographers and newborn photographers and all that sort of stuff is like, you've got to fucking hustle 24 hours a day, 7 days a
yeah,
week, because you only really know. Now I'm just guessing here, but you would only really know like 2 months, 3 months worth of income.
yeah.
That stresses me the fuck out. And this is why, again, this is not really much to do with what I just said, but people that go all in on like, I'm going to be a full-time wedding photographer in 6 months, like you're probably not,
Yeah,
because the weddings aren't for a year, two
yeah,
years. So you're not going to get paid. Like you don't make any money in wedding photography in your first fucking 2 years because you've got to build up a catalog.
yeah,
And that's why
exactly.
I like wedding photography, because I already know that I can pay all of my bills next year and the
Yes.
year after and half of
Yeah,
them for 2028
yeah.
already. I already know that. So I can just kind of be more comfortable.
Relaxed. Yeah.
How do you keep that passion and that drive and that hustle to like book the next thing, so that you're, fucking 2 months in advance, 3 months in advance?
Yeah.
Or is that why you transitioned into weddings because it's safer?
So from like before September, when I was making around 5 grand, I was doing a lot of elopements. So not a lot of like actual proper big weddings. I had a lot of people booking for me for just the registry weddings. And then a lot of the time I would just get deposits. Deposits were kind of what was my income. And then when September happened, like all of that money pretty much came from deposits, and then onwards, I was getting paid for the actual weddings. And when January this year actually was my biggest ever month. I made 30K in January, and I'd never seen that money in my life. Um, but
Do you have any of it
from
left? Because I'm really good at making money, but not heaps good at keeping it.
oh, I've the way I have like worked out my banks and all of my like organizational skills, I'm good.
Did you
um
read the Barefoot Investor? Is that what did it for you?
no,
Oh,
he his I did read the book halfway through, but his the way that he was writing was for someone that was working for someone else,
hmm.
and they like guaranteed like your when you get paid on Thursday to put all of your money away. And I'm like, I get paid every day. How the fuck do I do that? Um,
So what
but
did you do? I reckon that would be really helpful, not only for me, but for other people. How are
yeah,
you
100%.
dispersing your income so that you've actually still got money? Because that's what
Yeah,
happens. Is like we get paid a lump sum of money, like it's a Thursday afternoon, somebody
yeah.
transfers 6 grand into your bank account.
Okay.
What have you kind of
This
got set
is
up so that you can? Do you
this
remember at
is
the
something I've
start?
wanted to talk about.
Yeah,
This is
absolutely.
yeah.
This is stuff that I can't educate on because my philosophy in life is that you can always make more money, so you may as well fucking spend it.
Oh
Uh,
no, Josh.
but
So
you can. So you do it. You do the actual educating,
yeah,
and
okay.
I'll take notes.
So this is something that my partner actually set up for me, which has just helped my whole finances thing, because I was a bit like that. I had a savings account, I had my everyday account, and people would pay me. I'd put in my savings account and I'd give myself like $800 a month, but I just kept dipping out of the savings. And that would like the savings, that was also my tax money. Like my whole life savings was
Yeah,
in
so
that
that's what I
in
do
that
is I
account.
put money
Oh
away.
my God, stop that. Let me fix it, okay? I'm now your financial advisor.
Yeah, great,
So
perfect.
I now have a income account. Every time I get paid, it goes into that income account and I do not touch it. I have a tax account, I have a super account, and I have a wants account, which is like if I want to go and get a coffee with the girls, go and do an activity. I've got a needs account, which is my rent, power, all that shit. And then I've got a work account, which is if I need to go to JB Hi-Fi and stuff. So when I first set it up, we took my whole savings. We put, I think it was like 13 grand in my tax account because I needed to just get that away from myself because I fucking hated paying my tax because it felt like they were ripping my life away. And I put 5K in my work account. I just like put all of the money away, and it looked stressful because I was like, oh, I've got like 60 grand in savings, but you've just took it away and you put it in all of these accounts. So I've got like 10 grand here, five there, and it freaked me out. But now I'm seeing obviously the benefits of it. So what happens is on the 28th of every month, I take 10% out of my income account. I put it in my super account. I take my 15% out of that income account. I pay it into my tax account. And then I do 10% in my work account, 10% in my wants, in my needs, and then I put a big lump sum in my savings. And that has helped so much with saving money, keeping it there, keeping my tax and my super away from me. And it also allows me to see just how much money I've actually made in the month. Because otherwise it was just, I'd have to go back in my accounts and have a look and things. And I was never doing that. But now, like in my brain, I've got until the 28th of every month to make my goal amount. So my goal, I guess back then was 5K, and I would just work and work and work my ass off until I got to that goal, and then I could kind of relax, or if I wanted more, I'd push further. But I guess after I hit my 10K mark, now that's kind of moved, and yeah, I pay myself on the 28th of every month, and I put all of that money into those little accounts, and I chuck it into my savings, and it's so organized.
Manually, or can you automate it?
You could automate it, but I just do it manually because I don't ever really know how much I'm actually going to make. Because if I based it off of 10K and then say I only earned like 8 grand, then I guess I'd like overdraw my accounts. So I just do it manually on the 28th of every month.
Do you want to know what my savings plan is?
What's yours, Josh?
I make as much money as I possibly can, and it all goes into. I've got one account, and I make all my money, and I put it in there, and then every week. See, I'm an automations guy. I'll automate the fucking world, which is why we're going to fix your business soon as well, so you don't have to do all this back and forth with customers. But
yeah,
every week money gets transferred from my main account to my savings and tax account. And I just transfer the same amount every month. And then when if I hit like 10, 15, 20 grand in my actual business account, I'll transfer over like a lump sum sort of thing. And I essentially
that sounds so messy.
I build up a little nest egg of money, and I save and I save and I save. And then just before winter, the ATO comes knocking, and they go, we'll take some of that. And they take a lot of the lump sum, and then I just live off what's left in the account for the rest of the year. Sometimes with option.
Oh my god, you need to stop doing that.
But how do you manage direct debits and stuff? Oh, okay.
I think I do actually put a bit more than 10% in my work account. I think I put like 20% of my income in my work account, and a lot of my everything, like I chuck it in there on the 28th, and then all of the little direct debits come out of there throughout the month. And then by the end of the month, sometimes I'll have like $20 in the work account. And then, the 28th, I just put it back in the work account, and it just keeps coming out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not how I do it. I've got a credit card. I've got 2 credit cards. I've got a personal credit card that we put all of our personal stuff on, and then that gets taken out of the business account and used as drawings. And then I have a company credit card, which our direct debits come out of, because that is our fucking how we make points. And sometimes we can save money on flights because we do a lot of interstate weddings. And then that all just comes out of the business account. Everything's in the business. Everything's
that's
all in there. just one
Yeah.
account. It's nice and easy. You can always make more money,
Yeah.
so you may as well spend it. It's easy.
Well, it feels
text me.
clean. Yeah, it feels clean in my brain because otherwise, yeah, everything was in my savings account and I would just have my everyday account. But when the tax man came, I'd be like, what the fuck? I don't want to have to pay you 15
Yeah.
grand. That's my life savings right there. Whereas now I can see my savings and that's all mine. And then I've got my super and my tax, and I know that like I've paid into that account the exact amount that I've made that month. So when the tax man does come, I've already kind of like I'm ready for it. And what happened last year, I think I put or saved at least 19K in the tax account, but my bill only came to like 6 grand. So then I just took all of that, the rest of that money, and just put it in my savings account. And it made me feel like I got my tax back that, people
Yeah.
that work a job get. They get their tax back, whereas we just fucking give it. So it felt
Yeah.
like a little present.
That's actually not bad. That's probably the most helpful thing that's ever come out of this podcast.
Yeah.
Uh, so
Everyone go
when
and change it.
you're saying you're putting out, have you ever run any Facebook ads or anything like that, or is all of your marketing come from like reels and just being on social media and being around?
Done Facebook ads. I've never really put like a big amount of money in there. I think the most I put was $500 for the month. That did fuck all. Recently I started paying like a Google ads.
I hate
I'm
Google
trying
ads.
to actually this is a conversation we should have. This is some advice I need. So I want to set up my like Google account so when people search up like Melbourne photographer, I come up on the side, or like you'll press on it and it'll come up with some pictures and it'll have like my hours and my number and shit like that. And the website you can press it. I'm trying to set it up, but Google is like, well, we need to verify your business. You need to go outside and take a video of your suburb and like where you live. And then in the same video, come back into your house, show us like your business card, and then show us your laptop or like your computer with like your back end system of what you're using. And I'm like, what the fuck? This is so invasive. So I just haven't done it. Um,
That
did you have to
seems.
do that?
No, no,
What?
no. I've never had to do that for my shop here.
Is it because you have an actual shop, whereas mine is just my
Maybe.
house?
I mean, I
Yeah, I
don't feel
think it's
like you need to
because it's
show
just
the
a
neighborhood. I
house.
feel like you could just you could just film a video of your house and then just walk in the door and show a business card and your laptop and just send that out.
Yeah,
I
that's
feel
like
like
virtually what they're asking for,
like
but it's just
if at any
weird.
point they're asking you to film like inside your undies drawer or anything like that, it's
Yeah,
probably not
film your
actually
bank
Google.
card back and
Yeah,
front.
bank front and back of your bank card, and then just send
So
it
it's your
through.
social security number.
Yeah, if the
Um,
person messaging you from Google, if their email ends in gmail.com, it's probably not Google.
yeah, no,
It's probably not.
it's on the actual Google website. But I was paying $150 a week for these like Google ads or something. It was when I was trying to set up the Google business account, and I think I've done that for like the last 6 weeks, and it's done absolutely nothing. So I turned all of them off, and the only outcome of that is now I have 6 different scam callers calling me every day to say, we can automate your system and we can do better for you and we can do this for free without any clicks. And I'm just like, wow, why the fuck did I do that?
I don't like Google ads, and there will be lots of old school photographers that will disagree with me, but
Yeah.
I don't like Google ads because there's no real way of like vetting the person that's clicking on the ad. Like it could be anybody. If
Yeah.
you Google wedding photographer Melbourne,
Mm.
anybody can click on that ad. So I'm wasting my money with people clicking an ad that probably aren't actually going to book me. It's probably another wedding
Yeah, that's not
photographer.
converting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like probably another wedding photographer just having a geeze at like who's around. That doesn't
Yeah.
help me. Or it's a fucking grandma just like, oh my good, someone's getting married soon. Like I'll just click around.
Yeah.
It's like it's really impersonal, and I'm sure it does convert. And I have booked weddings through Google ads and that sort of stuff before as well. But I feel like this is where you should probably be doing a targeted Facebook ad campaign, because you can and also like just putting in $500 for the month isn't the best way to do it.
It's not much.
Well, it's not even not much. Like I tell everybody to run their ads at $5 a day. So you just run them at $5 a day forever. And then you can increase them as you start booking. But like at $5 a day, I can't remember the exact maths, but if you're running an ad at $5 a day for 365 days, let's do it. We'll do the maths here live.
I was like, I cannot do that on my own brain.
But if you're at $5 a day for 365 days, that's 1,800. Is it going to focus? Which is a podcast, not an actual call. $1,825 you've spent in marketing for the entire year. Now, I wouldn't suggest that you go and leave that exact same ad on for an entire year, but $5 a day. But what you do is you target people in your area based on their relationship status. So, like, you can target 21 to 34-year-olds.
I have done all of that.
Yeah, live in Melbourne that have been engaged for less than 6 months or engaged for a year, and put your ad in front of them. And then so what you do is you run it at like $5 a day, because spending all of your money at one time, you're entirely reliant on, it's just like having your pricing on your website.
Yeah.
You're entirely reliant on those people being ready to book the moment they see your ad. Like, you don't know when they're going to see it. They could be on their lunch break at work and just scrolling, and it comes past, and then you've had that. But if you've only got $500 and you spend all of that $500 in 1 month, maybe that person isn't ready to book that month, but maybe they are ready to book in
like 4 or 5,
6 months. And your ad is still there. Like, they've seen it again, or maybe that's when it pops up. And you're still just kind of around, like people are always going to be seeing your ads. So when they are ready to book, then maybe that's when they see like one of your Instagram reels, or they see the ad comes up at the right time. And this is why people shouldn't have their pricing on their website, Daria.
Why? What's your like?
You
why?
lose the ability to sell. You're entirely reliant on that person seeing your ad or seeing your reel at the exact time that they're ready to book their wedding photographer without probably even talking. Whereas elopements maybe on your website, I would suggest not, but if you are putting pricing on your website, maybe that's okay. Engagements probably, because like if you're an engagement photographer, they just want to be able to see like, oh, it's $1,000. I don't have $1,000. That's fine. But for weddings, such a personal experience where like they are booking you, the photographer, and it's a larger sum of money, they're probably going to think about it for a little while. They're probably going to have a discussion about it. They're probably going to inquire with a couple of people. If they don't have to inquire with you, then you're reliant on them remembering who you were, remembering your website, and then coming back to you to get the pricing to then inquire. Whereas if you don't have your pricing on your website, but you just we send an automated email as soon as they inquire, like, hey, just like fill in the contact form and we'll get back to you.
Yeah.
And that way it's an automated email that goes out and it's like, here's all of our pricing. We can then follow those people up and be like, hey, did you get my email the other day? Just wanted to see how you're going on your journey, or, hey, just checking to see if you've booked a wedding photographer yet. Like, you can email them in 3 weeks' time and be like, hey, just checking, are you still looking? And you just get that ability to follow up. And you also get the option of asking, what's your budget? Because like you said before, like people should be working for free and building up their portfolio, and they should be just like getting their fucking clicks in, and like the first 10,000 photos that you take is going to be shit. Someone says that. There's a very famous quote. The first 10,000 photos you take will be trash. So you got to keep going, because it could be 10,002 that is your good one. Something along those lines. It's way more nicer.
Aspirational.
It's way more inspirational than I say it. But I think people should be, if you're just starting, you should be discounting your pricing, because you don't know what your pricing is. Just because somebody in a Facebook group told you to know your worth.
Yeah.
If somebody's not paying that, then you're not fucking worth it. You're worth you're worth nothing. Like, if people aren't paying you, you're not worth $1,500. But if somebody inquires and they're like, you know, let's say even prices starting from, I fucking hate, because people were like, yeah, just do starting from, like, my prices start at $1,500. But like, if somebody had $1,000 and they wanted you to shoot an elopement on a Tuesday afternoon and you get a free piece of pizza, you would probably do it.
Yeah,
But
that's fair.
you've lost that booking because you said you won't work for less than $1,500. My packages start at $9,000. But if there's a Wednesday that I'm doing nothing else and it's in a fucking castle and they're dressing up in
take it for a
medieval
bit
clothes,
less.
mate, I'll be there for fucking $1,000. Like,
Yeah. Well, if I'm honest, I don't really think any of the weddings that have. Oh, sorry, I need to start again. I think I've probably booked maybe 4 weddings out of the last 2 years where they have looked at my website prior and said, hey, we're getting married on this date at this place. We've looked on your website. We want package number 3. How do we go about it? I think that's only really happened 4 or 5 times. Whereas literally every other fucking client is like, what are your price lists? How much do you cost? And I think that's why I was trying to like cut them out, because I'm just like, oh, just fucking look on the website. Because otherwise,
pricing
like,
is literally the first thing on your website before you even say hello.
because I
Rosemary
think the
Studios,
reason
price
I think
lists. Hi, I'm a storyteller.
I think the reason being is because I've had a lot of wedding opportunities where I've gotten so close to booking them and then they just ghost, and it kind of like ruined my excitement. Like I had 2 opportunities to do a Fiji wedding and they emailed me again. They asked for my price list and I sent it over to them. We had chats. I had full FaceTimes with them, sent them over quotes and stuff. And then when it came down to them actually paying it, they just like fully ghosted. And it just really pissed me off. And I think I also, and it's as well with a lot of people that are shopping around for photographers, like a lot of wedding brides, they will email like 7 to 20 photographers to try and get their price lists so they can then compare. And I just can't be fucked talking to you if you don't want me and me only. Because, yeah, I don't want to like talk about like what your expectations are of the wedding and how you want to play it out and how many hours and what's your timeline, and then send the invoice or like the quote and then just get ghosted because it just fucking wastes my time. So I think that's the reason I've had the approach of like, there's my price list, whether you fucking want me or not, that's up to you.
So
But yeah,
we tell people to do all of that in a Zoom call. You do like one, and I coach on like selling Zoom calls and like getting your sales script in and making sure you can fucking like. There's not
see,
a
I
sales
hate
script.
Zoom calls. I fucking
Really?
hate it. I think out of my whole career, I've had maybe 6 phone calls. I
I've
fucking
had
hate
6
it.
phone calls this week.
I know, I hate it. I'm like, why do you need to call me to tell me the location of your wedding when I'm gonna need it in writing anyway? So just fucking email it.
So
Otherwise, I'm
normally
gonna have to ask you.
that's people like that Zoom call is your, or in-person meeting or whatever, is your making sure that this person isn't a shit cunt. Because that's the first time I've said cunt on the podcast. I've been trying to keep it off, but that Zoom call is them like meeting you, the person, to make sure that you, the person, are the one that they want to have at their wedding. So
Yeah.
like it's an entirely personal experience getting married, and people are like, you know, they're spending the most intimate day of their life, essentially, other than fucking childbirth, like with someone for an extended period of time. A Zoom call or an in-person meeting or whatever is that opportunity. And this is where we tell people to have a sales script. It's not really a script. It's just kind of like a
Points
series
that you
of
need to make sure you
stories.
talk
Yeah,
about.
like a series of stories that you work on to guide them through that process, because most of them have like, most people have never been married before. Most people are never going to get married again, and if they do get married again, they're going to do the opposite of what they did the first time. Like a big wedding normally elopes the second time, it elope will have a big wedding. But our job as the photographer is to guide them through that process. So if you go into a Zoom call with like a, hey, what's up? What's going on? They're probably just going to read a fucking ChatGPT list of questions of like things that I should be asking my wedding photographer. Just
Yeah.
letting you know that the wedding is at this venue at this, like I don't care about that now. I just need to know
Yeah.
what state it is and what it is. Whereas if you kind of like lead that conversation, you're like, great, do you have any specific questions? Cool. This is what we do and this is why we're the best. We
Yeah.
had it where like we were getting leads. We'd get like 20 leads a week, and we had 100% success rate on booking every single one of our Zoom calls. Because you would like
Okay.
get the lead in, you'd get a Zoom call, you'd talk on the Zoom call, you'd book the wedding, and you'd have the deposit that day. And that's how we went from like shooting 50 weddings a year to 125, is that we were doing Zoom calls and actually talking to people and showing our personality and letting the people know that like you can trust us. Like we're here to look after you. We're not here to fuck you over, and we're a real person and all that sort of stuff. It's a bit easier now with Instagram Reels and all that sort of stuff. Like,
and I think that's what's happening. Like I had a lady email me the other day, and she said, like I followed you on your whole photography journey. I followed you on TikTok and stuff, and I never thought I'd ever get married, but I'm getting married, and I only ever want you. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. Like I've got a little fangirl. But I do know that I need to get over the hump of not wanting to talk on a Zoom call. I think I've just been so traumatized by doing the Zoom calls before getting the deposit and then trying to like not necessarily win them over, but them feeling as though that they need to have me. And then them like not talking after it. I'm just
it's
like,
also hard with Fiji weddings in general are fucking hard because somebody will just go and do it for free. And there's been weddings where like people have come to me and they're like, we absolutely want you to come and shoot our wedding. We need you to come to Thailand with us because we want you to make us feel comfortable. And like I don't discount my international pricing. My pricing is my pricing. But somebody will go and do it for like $2,000, and so they'll just book that person. That's a whole different kettle of fish. Where like,
it's hard to grab them.
It is really hard to grab them because like, well, someone will just go and do it for free. Like, if you just pay for my travel, I'll come and do the wedding for free. Like, that's a way better offer than I really, really love Daria, but we don't. We could not spend $7,000. Let's say we could not spend $7,000. Or we could spend $7,000 and have Daria. Like, we could just this guy has a pretty good portfolio and he's going to do it for free, versus Daria's got a great portfolio and we love her, but it's going to cost us $7,000 to fucking bring her to Fiji with us or whatever. It's just kind of where it like, international weddings, I don't even really try to book anymore because there's always going to be somebody over there that can do it cheaper.
Yeah. I'd love to grab one. Maybe that's a 27-year-old goal of mine.
That'll be on your little fucking dream board above your bed or whatever it's called. Dream board? What are they?
Yeah.
Oh, whatever it is, a vision board.
A vision board. Vision board. Yeah.
Not a dream board. I was thinking of a dream catcher. What would you say is one of the sort of like the biggest challenges that you faced early on? Maybe, I mean, we covered it a bit, was like moving over from Melbourne and stuff, but do you reckon there was like a thing that you overcame that maybe somebody listening to this is probably in a similar situation?
I think it really comes down to actually asking yourself the question of, am I putting 100% effort into this, or am I kind of slacking off? Because a lot of people, they think they're putting the effort in, but then they're complaining that they're not really getting anywhere. And then, so I've actually seen this happen a fair few times. There was some videographers that I was working with, and they said to me, they were like, how do you get so many bookings? Like, how are you so busy? They were still working their full-time job. And they're like, we can only do these weddings on the weekend. And I was like, well, are you taking content? Like, are you on social media? Are you uploading? Are you in front of people? And I'm like, we just don't have time for that. And I was like, you're such a fucking liar, because I know for a fact you would lay in bed at night for at least 3 hours before you go to sleep, scrolling and not doing anything. With that time, fucking upload something. And I fully like got them off their chair, and I was like, you're going to come over to the bridal table with me. We were waiting for them to come in, and I got our phones out and I was like, hey, I'm Daria and this is blah, blah, blah. And we're at this wedding today, and we uploaded it to TikTok. I was like, that is literally how easy it is. Like, if you are complaining about not getting work and you're questioning why is this other person getting all this work? And then when they say, because I'm putting in effort, if you say, oh, I don't have time, yes, you fucking do. Yes, you do. You're just complaining to make it feel easier on yourself instead of actually putting the effort in. That's
So
where
what
it really changed for me.
when you were posting 3 reels a day, or
Mm.
when you went in your I'm going to post as much as possible,
Yeah.
what were you putting up? Like just fucking anything? Were you putting up like CapCut templates? Were you
I had like a system of I would do behind the scenes. So I started hiring a content creator. I paid them like $150 for the hour of the bridal portraits, and they just follow me around. So it would be behind the scenes of me doing my work and showing my personality, mic'd up. And then I would upload like just the carousel of photos from that wedding, and then I would upload. I started also filming a little bit of the wedding on my actual camera, so I had a good quality video.
Mhm.
So I'd make a tiny little reel of that. I'd upload that, and then I would upload a just like a sound thing from TikTok of like lip syncing. And so yeah, I had like 5 videos, and I just continued to just upload that every day, or like 3 of them, and I just constantly do that. And another thing as well that I had to kind of get over was sometimes I'd have videos that would go viral, and I'd have heaps of people booking me and contacting me and stuff, and then they would drop off and I'd get like 500 views. But I actually didn't notice that I was still booking the same amount of people, even though the views were down. And I had a friend actually say, she was like, oh, I feel like no one's really listening. Like my views are really low and no one's engaging and stuff. And I was like, it actually doesn't fucking matter about how many views you're getting, because even I was like, oh no, I'm failing. I'm not getting any views, but I booked 3 weddings today. Like,
Mm.
so I didn't really care about like what it was converting to. I just fucking put it out there and hoped for the best. But yeah, I did
That's
have a schedule kind of
yeah,
what I was
that's
putting out there.
kind of like the best way to do it is that you essentially what I've told people to do is post videos. I tell people to make like 6, 7 reels that are all different, and
Yeah.
then put them out into the ethos and find which one did better than the other one. So normally you'll get like
Yeah.
220 views, 226 views, or whatever the TikTok jail is, and then
Yeah.
there'll be one that gets like
A
500
thousand
views.
or something.
You get
Yeah.
1,000, and like, why did that one get 1,000? Was it a better hook? Was it a better
Yeah.
caption? Was it that because you used or different audio or something? And
Yeah.
then make 7 reels that are the same as that reel that got 1,000 views, but a
Yeah.
little bit different again, and then try to figure out what maybe they'll all get 800 views, but then one gets 1,200 views. Why did that one get
Yeah.
1,200? And that way you can kind of find your own little path. But that's a good
And
little
it,
system where you had like
yeah.
behind the scenes because you're showing you
Mm,
working, carousel
mm,
because you can still able to post photos, and that's something that not enough of us do, myself
yeah.
included. I don't post enough photos on Instagram
Mm,
because that is your portfolio that people are fucking looking at.
yeah. Yeah.
The reels
It's
bring
the
the eyes
first
in,
point.
the portfolio is the Instagram, and then you come through to your website. Um,
Yeah.
but then the fucking even just like on CapCut, like there are some videos. I made one recently when I was at camp photography, like when I used a Nikon camera, and it
Yeah.
literally took me maybe 4 minutes to make, not even 4 minutes.
Yeah.
There was a small video clip of me that I took on my phone of me holding a camera, and I just like panned it up. So it was like a
Yeah.
10-second clip on the day. And then I literally just put it into CapCut, and it did all the things for me. I picked the pictures, and that got 50,000 views, just like
Yeah.
easy.
The most random things as well go viral. But I think for me, I kind of found what was working for me was my people were liking my personality. And if I'm honest, I'm gonna blow some smoke up your ass.
Do it, mate.
Um, was you actually
Oh,
kind
me?
of
Blow smoke up
inspired
me.
me?
I thought you were going to blow smoke
Yeah,
up your own ass. I'll blow it up
no,
mine,
up
absolutely.
you. Because I saw your 360 camera videos, so I literally went out and fucking bought one. I was like,
Yeah.
this dude, he's smashing it. I'm copying. But I noticed that you really advertised your personality and what you stand for and what's important to you and how you are with your clients. And fully behind the scenes, I was doing the same thing, but I wasn't advertising it. So I started advertising it. There was this one video the content creator got of me. I was mic'd up and the groom was in the period of doing family photos, and I said to him to stay close by because we'll do the photos. And I was bringing all the family members over, and we'll call him Josh. Josh fucking walked off somewhere to one of his mates and was having a chat. And I was like, Josh, it's time to shut up and come and get your family photos now. And he goes, yeah, I'll be over there in a minute. So I'm like, just, I'm taking photos of other people, I'm looking around, and he's still over there. And I yell out to him, and he's like, not responding. So I fully like walk over to him. I grab him by the arm. I take him away from his mates, and I'm like, you can literally have a conversation in fucking 20 minutes. Let's get this over with. And then we do the photos. And a lot of people loved that video because they were like, wow, like you really took action. Like you're not scared of
Mm.
people. You're not scared to get in there, get amongst it, tell them what to do. And I actually booked a lot of weddings on people literally saying to me, like, be brutal with them, like, tell them what to do, yell at the family members. And yeah, so that was working, like, showing my personality. And there was another one that I uploaded of, it was on the 360 camera. I did a proposal, and the girl was just so excited. She had her phone in her hand and she threw it into the sand, and I went and picked it back up because I was like, oh my God, bro, you just fucking threw your phone in the dry sand. It's going to go missing. So I pick it up and I put it in my pocket and I'm shooting the proposal away. And then afterwards, I give it back to her. And again, people loved it because they were like, wow, I wouldn't have even thought about that to like pick her phone up. Like you worried about your clients' belongings. You weren't
Mm.
just focused on making money from the proposal. You actually cared about the client. And there was another video I did which actually blew up for me. I had a lot of clients come through. Um, so I actually do a lot of Somali weddings, which is a very random niche. I had a wedding probably 4 years ago, and it was the first one that I ever did. I had no idea about the culture or anything, and they kind of taught me about it, and it kind of made me a little bit sad because I couldn't post it anywhere. It was very private because they don't have their hijabs on. And I kind of thought like, oh, how am I going to get more of this clientele if people don't know I exist? But they talked amongst themselves and they referred me, and I had so many of their family members come to me. And I think at this point, before I uploaded the video, I'd shot probably 20 of the same family's Somali weddings. And I thought, how can I really advertise this instead of showing the photos because I can't?
Mm.
So I made a little video, and it was saying that, like, hey, calling all Somali brides. If you're looking for a wedding photographer, pick me. I'm private. I keep all of your photos private. You're a safe space. For bridal portraits, I work in this studio, which is a really safe space. Like, I really advertise it about, like, you're safe with me. I've got you. I've done already 20 of these weddings. I'm your person. And I swear to God, I had like the whole of the Somali community in Melbourne messaging me, and it blew up. I booked like 30 Somali weddings in, I think, a matter of like fucking 2 months. I booked a maternity session in Sydney from that video. I was like, you really want to pay me to come to fucking Sydney to do a maternity shoot?
Mm.
She was like, yeah, because you've done this, you're in the community, you're in the family, like you're safe, we feel safe with you. And yeah, so that's also a little niche that I had. Like you kind of have to think about, I guess it does come down to that, the saying of find a problem and fix it. And I
Yeah.
guess my problem was like, well, their problem was not feeling safe or not having a female photographer capture their wedding. And I really just put it out there that, like, I've got you, babe. Ain't no
Yeah.
one seeing these pictures.
But
Yeah.
that's like why we get hired as well. And it's really hard to explain why. Like, I go to weddings and people are like, oh, why would they fly you from Adelaide to
Yeah.
Queensland to shoot the wedding?
Because your
And it's hard
personality.
because it's like, I'm not the best photographer in Australia. I'm not even the best photographer in fucking Adelaide. Like, there are far better
Oh,
photographers out
100%.
there.
Yeah.
But what I do is make all of my couples feel safe and
Mm.
comfortable, and I can bring you out of your shell. And if you're
Yeah.
uncomfortable in front of the camera, I'm going to make you feel comfortable in front of the camera. And it's
Yeah.
finding that little thing that you can do to make these people's days better, because the barrier of entry for wedding photography is so fucking low these days that literally anybody can go to JB Hi-Fi, buy a camera and a 28
I
to
know.
70, and they're a wedding photographer.
Yeah.
So now we
Hey,
need
hang on a fucking minute. The 28 to 70,
is it?
excuse me,
I
that's
know
my
how much
favorite
you love it.
lens.
I
You can
fucking
fuck
made it
off.
an hour and a half without shitting on the 28 to 70. I'm pretty proud of that.
You're getting cancelled.
But it's making those people feel comfortable. It's making them feel
Yeah.
safe. And that's where fucking Daria, these Zoom calls come in. And that's when you're going to fucking book more
Yeah.
clients, because you're doing Zoom calls and making them feel comfortable. But
Yeah.
that's why, and it's hard to kind of express that to people, when that, like, so much of wedding photography and so much of photography in general is the connections and the fucking
Mm.
relationship that we build as much as it is good photos.
Yeah, and
We've
it's
gone.
sorry, you go.
No, you go, mate, because I'm going to go into rapid fire questions.
Okay. Okay. It's also just about, like, the client experience, and everyone knows that wedding photographers, or photographers in general, we're not just there with a camera. We do so much, as you said, like fixing the bride's dress, going and grabbing something for them. And there's been so many times where I'm more than happy to do so much more for you if it means that I give you a good experience. Because a photographer, we're the only vendor that follows you around from the fucking start to finish. So we need to be friends. Like, we need
Mm,
to get comfortable with each other. Um, I remember, like, 4 years ago, I did this wedding over in Tassie. It was kind of just, it was either, no, it was after COVID. Anyway, she had her wedding on a golf course and it started raining and she was freaking the fuck out. She was literally meant to walk down the aisle. And I went in and I tried to see if we could bring it inside instead of having it outside, but inside was shit. And I came back to the car to her. She's like hiding in the car. And I was like, listen, do you want it inside or do you want it outside? If you have it inside, I'm going to have my flash and it's going to be really fucking kind of annoying. It's really dark in there. Or everyone is here for you. No one is leaving. They don't have any other plans. So if you want to sit in the car for 40 fucking minutes until the fucking
mm,
sky stops raining, we can do that. And I kind of really calmed her down because she was freaking out. Like, she was crying, she was having a panic attack. And I was like, let's just sit. We can just hang out and we'll just wait. No one's going to fucking leave. So we sat there for like 20 minutes, and then another thing happened. She needed to go to the toilet. I think she was really nervous. She needed to go and do a number two. And she had her sister in the back of the car, and she asked her sister, like, hey, I need to go to the toilet. And she goes, oh, let me go and get mum. So she runs off to go and get the mum. Fuck knows where she went. She was like 10 minutes later, and I was like, I'll just take you to the toilet. And she was like, are you sure? And I was like, yes, babe. I'm sure. Like, you're going to shit yourself in your dress. Let me take you to the toilet. So I literally took her to the toilet. I had to fucking unzip her. I had to hold her dress up for her. Like, these are the things that we do for our clients. We're not just photographers. And doing that for her was such a beautiful experience that she booked me for, like, when they had their baby. She sent me over to other family members because she was like, wow, this girl didn't just rock up to our wedding, take our money, and just click some fucking buttons.
mm.
Like, she fully undressed me and helped me poo. So I've never had to do it again, but yeah, there's been times where I've sat on the floors of these families' homes and I've ironed hijabs for them because I'm like, babe, You need to go and fucking do your hair. Let me iron it for you. And they just love it. They love when you show them that they're not just a money sign. They're actually important to you, and that their day is important to you. So, yeah, another
All
spiel.
right. We've gone fucking not even way over time. There's no time limit here. But we're going to do a lightning round, 20 questions, this or that, and fun personality hits.
Oh, Jesus.
They're fucking easy. We went through some of them before. Number
Try
one,
and make it quick.
sunrise or sunset for photos?
Sunset.
Sunset. Lightroom or Photoshop?
Lightroom. Have no idea how to use Photoshop.
Yeah, well, most of the Photoshop stuff's in Lightroom these days.
Yeah, exactly.
Natural light or studio flash? You would have done both now.
I prefer natural light. I only ever use on-camera flash. I've got no fucking idea about studio flash.
Interesting. Not even when you had your studio.
No, it was all natural light. I had a massive window in front of me and just winged it. This is also like a year into business, so I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah, no one does.
Yeah.
Candid or posed photos?
I would say organized, candid.
Organised, yeah, because you've got a bit more of an editorial style sort of look. That was on my things to talk about. But I just didn't fucking get there. But
sorry,
no,
talking
this
too
is why
much.
we don't have a plan for these chats, because it could be whatever.
They just
we'll
go
just talk
off
about
on their
whatever
own
comes.
thing. Yeah.
Weddings or more editorial type shoots, like your elopements and stuff.
Actually, elopements. It means I have more time with the client to do their beautiful newlyweds. If I do a full wedding, I've got like fucking 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes to get their photos, and they're not very creatively fun.
You need to work on better timelines, mate. We get 45 minutes to an hour.
I try. I do say that, but it's always the client that they're like,
also,
oh,
you could run all of this through in a Zoom call before booking. You could run them through and be like, yeah, we take an hour. Just saying, it's all coming back around. Film or digital?
Digital.
Have you done much film work?
No, I've never. I did it at school, but yeah, fuck
the
that.
best thing about this is the episode that comes out today on the 8th. So the episode before yours is with Summer Grace, and she only talks about film cameras.
Oh God!
What's your go-to camera body right now?
R6, Canon R6.
Have you had it overheat?
No, never.
Oh, interesting. I had both.
But then I'm not shooting video on it.
Yeah, I had both my R6s overheat at one wedding. What's your favourite lens of all time? Say it.
My 28 to 70.
F2. Would you rather shoot solo or shoot with a team?
Love a team. Makes the day a lot easier. Yeah.
Interesting. I only shoot solo because I just don't want that many people there.
Yeah. Depends how many people.
TikTok or Instagram?
TikTok. Yeah. Yeah.
What would you say is the most overused photography phrase? Like authentic storytelling or golden hour or...
Oh, God. I can't think of one. I know the overused photography styles that piss me off, but not
that
really.
One. Tell me that one.
I think everyone hates it, but it's the not the level horizon. Why the fuck are we giving people photos like this? Stress me out.
Do it, but only for my direct flash editorial photos. They're the only time that the horizon's been.
I think for me, I only allow it at the reception because everyone's drunk. The kind of the not straight photo increases the fun. We're just like crazy atmosphere.
But outside, I don't want the water to tip out of the ocean because it's not on a straight level.
No.
What's your coffee order on a wedding day?
Well, I don't actually drink coffee. I'm a hot chocolate girly.
Hot chocolate? Are you 6?
Excuse me.
My Matt, the celebrant, he only drinks hot chocolates. I couldn't live without my coffee.
You go.
What's the worst weather to shoot in?
Raining and windy.
Really? You're from Tassie, that's all you have.
Well,
and you live in Melbourne.
but a lot of people are getting married during summer. No one's really getting married during winter.
Yeah, but that's my favourite. See, that's my favourite weather to shoot in because it's just like cold and I can just wear a hoodie and it's like rainy so you don't have to go outside. Whereas it's full sun outside, direct fucking sunlight on a hot day.
Love
I'm
it.
not telling you that your answers are wrong, Daria, but they're not right.
Unless it's a nice
Um,
cloudy day.
your
But yeah.
creative routine, are you an early bird or a night owl? Do you get more work done in the morning or at night?
At night, yeah. There's definitely been days where I've been up at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
But you won't ever get me up at 3 a.m. to start editing.
No. Do you have a dream location in Australia that you'd like to shoot, or a dream state, or?
I would actually really love to shoot a wedding in Hamilton Island for some reason. I'm
Oh
not
yeah, that'd
sure.
be cool.
I nearly got there, but they got pregnant and they pretty much just eloped, and I was like, fucking hell.
Yeah. Babies
Yeah,
really kill the wedding industry. I've said it before and
fuck
I'll say
them
it again.
kids.
I know. Do you have a
Oh,
dream location overseas that you'd like to go to?
Lake Como.
Lake Como.
Yeah, the
Um,
iconic Euro wedding.
do you look at you, Euro girly? Go to Europe one time, and now you're going back to Lake Como.
No, it's
Um,
always been a dream.
do you take photos on holidays, or do you leave your cameras at home?
Um, Usually I take my camera on holidays and it's never fucking used. But I actually, for Europe, I got a G7X. So it's one of those little ones.
Yeah.
Great quality. And I had her hanging off my wrist the whole trip and I was taking pictures everywhere.
And what are you going to do with the photos?
Put them all over Instagram and TikTok and I'm going to get some of them printed off and put them on this big bare
Oh,
wall.
nice.
Yeah.
I used to take my camera to not to weddings, to holidays, and then I would take heaps of photos and then just put them on Dropbox, and that's it. I don't even edit them. I just take them. They just sit there.
Yeah.
What is something that's in your camera bag at all times but isn't camera gear?
Bobby pins.
Bobby pins. That's a fucking good one. I
Bobby
can't get
pins.
away with bobby pins because I've got no hair. Now, this one might be hard for you to answer because you've always been a photographer, but if you weren't a photographer, what would you be doing?
An interior designer. I loved making houses look beautiful. And when I was at school, they asked me, we had like a career day. And they're like, what are your maths grades at? And I was like, oh, fuck, I'm at a C minus. And they're like, can you bring that up to at least a B plus by the end of the year? And I was like, fuck no. So yeah, that dream went out the window.
And last one, this is my favorite question that I ask people. If somebody gave you like $200,000 for the year and all your income was already paid for, what would you take photos of or do?
I think I would still do exactly what I'm doing.
Not a bad
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah, definitely. My partner, we're like talking in the span of like, getting married, having kids, and he's like, he pays my rent, but I fucking hate it because I don't like anyone taking care of me. But he's convinced that when we have kids, that I'll stop working. And I'm like, no, I'm strapping that motherfucker to me and I'm going. Like, no matter how much money you pay me or set my life up for me, I will always have my camera in my hand.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right, Daria, tell the people who you are, where to find you, and what you're doing.
My name is Daria Smith. I am a photographer from Melbourne, and my business name is Rosemary Studios. You can find me on TikTok and Instagram under Rosemary Studios, and my website is rosemarystudios.com.au.
And double check to make sure that she says she's 27 on there because she fucking lied to me.
I'm going to go and update that right now.
Thank you. If you've made it this far into the episode, thank you for listening. This is a fucking long one, and I feel like we could have gone for another hour and a half anyway. But yeah, no matter where you are in the world, no matter what you're doing, if you're fucking listening to this, just let it be known that we love you very, very much. And until I see your face again on fucking Instagram or somewhere, love ya. Bye.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.